Isekai.
The Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage. Chapter 56, Secret Discussion. After this year's Chrysanthemum Banquet, the main names that were discussed in the streets of Ding capital finally changed. The Little Z Marquis of the residence of the Marquis of Linen used an extremely strong and elegant attitude to extinguish the awe-inspiring presence of the two said Shu brothers. Even though his actions were arrogant, but, with a graceful bearing that was revealed in that short period of time, it made one understand that the name he got on the battlefield, Jaded Face Azura, was not a false reputation. The other person was the idiot, Shen Miao. It was as if one had shed one's mortal body and exchanged one's bones, or it was that finally the blood of the Shen family was aroused. The stupid and cowardly Shen Miao faded away as she confronted Kai Lin with composure during archery, and when she was forcing for submission, she revealed a vicious temperament. It made all her peers somewhat fearful. As such in Guangwentang, those who previously mocked her had now all curbed it. When Kai Lin returned to Guangwentang and faced Shen Miao, he just stared at her unpleasantly, but, unprecedentedly, did not act trashly at all. It was assumed that day that Shen Miao had given him some trauma. Feng Anning looked at Kai Lin's appearance and laughed. Did not think that the overlord would actually be somewhat afraid of you now. Shen Miao glanced at Kai Lin, and the latter quickly looked away with a somewhat fearful look. She laughed in her heart in spite of herself. Kai Lin, in her eyes, was just an arrogant and stubborn young master, and she did not want to waste any more energy on the matter. Moreover, the Kai family was nearing their annihilation days, thus this noble young master would need to suffer a lot in the future. However, I heard that even though the two Z brothers were injured seriously, the Marquis of Linen did not fault Little Z Marquis at all, and instead invited a physician to tend to the two brothers' injuries, but, in fact, can be considered for both as a confinement. Feng Anning exclaimed, "It seems that it is indeed true that the Marquis of Linen is biased towards the D-son." Shen Miao asked, "Where did you hear it from?" "Eavesdropping on my parents' conversation." Feng Anning was somewhat proud, but, if it was another person, most likely would also dote on Little Z Marquis. Not to say about him, but, he is born from Princess Yu King with an imperial bloodline. Shen Miao's eyebrows raised. Honestly speaking, she always felt that the death of Princess Yu King of the residence of the Marquis of Linen was somewhat strange. From the attitude of the Marquis of Linen to the two Z brothers, there was no reason when he knew of Princess Yu King's death, that he would still let that Madame Feng lives till now. As she was pondering, she saw Pei Lang walking in. There was a gentle smile on Pei Lang's face, and just as he was looking over in Shen Miao's direction, his eyes came upon Shen Miao's gaze, and Pei Lang could not help but be slightly surprised for a moment. During the Chrysanthemum Banquet, Shen Miao's performance had made Pei Lang put away the scorn in his heart. From then onwards he started to feel and observe that Shen Miao was different from normal, and he also felt that Shen Miao was paying attention to him secretly. Even though he did not know why, it made this young teacher feel somewhat uncomfortable, as if something was targeting him. But, thinking that Shen Miao was just a little young female, no matter how powerful she was, he felt that he was only being oversensitive. "Why do you always stare at him?" Feng Anning curiously asked before she thought of something, and said in shock, "Could it be that you fall for someone again?" As of now, Shen Miao had not even mentioned anything about Fu Ziyu, and her cold icy look was like she had forgotten about that person, which made those who were watching the commotion feel there was some reason for it. They were thinking that most likely Shen Miao knew that she was not worthy of the imperial family, and had given up that thought, and that could be seen as she did not chase after Fu Ziyi during the chrysanthemum banquet. Even though Pei Lang's status was a little low, but he had a graceful bearing, and was talented, thus it was natural for young females to like him. Shen Miao's head was somewhat aching as she recovered her sight. Of course not. The only thing she was thinking was that since Pei Lang did not speak about the circulation of law, Fu Ziyi had not taken him to heart. But this person was still a great trusted advisor, and in the future, he would be used by Fu Ziyi. Shen Miao's expression turned serious as she was afraid that there would be endless trouble in the future. Right now, she could not assassinate Pei Lang without anyone knowing, so she had to find another way. The Beixianglu of Ding capital was filled with song and dance. Even though it was in the daylight, the gauzes that decorated throughout, and the luminous pearls that were placed made the entire roof to be filled with brilliant lights and vibrant colors. With the sound of music curling up, there would always be one that would stop and look in envy, not because of other things, but when ordinary wealthy people enter Beixianglu, they also felt somewhat cash-strapped, as even a small pot of tea was expensive. It was indeed money-squandering establishment. At this moment, leaning against the window sat a middle-aged man clad in luxurious clothes. This man's clothes were excellent, but he was born with a dark and sinister look. Under his robes, that left leg was empty, and it was no one else but Prince Yu. Spoken clearly to that Shen family? After a while, he asked with a gloomy tone. Reporting back to your highness, it has already been arranged with the second Furin of the Shen family. 3 days later, the womenfolk of the Shen family will head to Wolong Temple to offer incense. At that time, 3 days. Prince Yu frowned, and a trace of displeasure flashed in his eyes. He then waved his hands. Go, and prepare the things that should be prepared. It has been a long time since Ben Wang has met such an interesting one. After so many years, his sexual appetite had gotten crueler and perverse, and countless females had died in his hands. However, no matter how these females resisted, they would not be able to create any waves. In the entire Mingqi, he had already known about Shenzhen's fierce name, and did not know what kind of taste that daughter of the awe-inspiring great general would have. Moreover, in that chrysanthemum banquet, Shen Miao revealed her ruthlessness, which filled him up with interest. A wild cat who only knew how to resist would perhaps be tastier than those blocks of beautiful wood. He licked his lips, and a flash of licentious perverseness crossed his eyes. In the room that was nearest to him, sat a white-clad male in front of a glass table. He was about 20 years old, and was born handsome, but had a pretty gentle disposition. After hearing those words for a while, he spoke to the person in front as if he had watched a good show. It seems that the beauty you saved from before would most likely be in trouble again. Facing him, the purple-clad youth sat lazily, and casually said, the Shen's family tree is a tall one that attracts the wind, and this blame belongs to Shenzhen. His fault to carry. Today it was only a test. There would finally be one day in that no one in the Shen family would be safe. The white-clad male paused, and suddenly looked at the youth. Third Z, why did you injure the Shu brothers in the academy examinations? Could it be that your plans are going to be moved in advance? The one sitting opposite was not someone else, but Zi Jingxing. His lips raised as he smiled. So what if it is advanced? So what if it was not advanced? If you were to take action in advance, will they know? The white-clad male asked. Zhao Yang, you do not understand one thing. Now here, only I have the final say. Zi Jingxing said plainly, by dragging it longer, it would instead be unfavorable to me. If the mountain does not come to me, then I will go to the mountain. Finishing the last word, his eyes looked much more serious, like it was not a 17 or 18-year-old youth. That male, so-called Zhao Yang, was stunned in surprise for a moment before laughing bitterly. "Never mind, I only came over to see you. In fact, I really have no self-confidence to stop you." He then changed the conversation. "However, in 3 days, are you not also heading to Wolong Temple to investigate some stuff? Maybe you can, once again, save a beauty." He laughed mischievously. "Zhao Yang, your foresight is, as usual, that bad." Zi Jingxing raised an eyebrow. "It is not good to provoke that girl from the Shen family.